Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Crimbo. Today's episode, pizza. As always, start off by putting on your cat apron and start off with 2.5 cups of room temperature water. Add 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of dry active yeast, and then we're stirring to combine. Make sure that you see little air bubbles. That means your yeast is alive and active. Next, to a large mixing bowl, I'm adding 7 cups of all-purpose flour. You could also use semolina flour or type 00 flour. However, I found that all-purpose works just fine. Next, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of table salt. Followed by a half teaspoon of MSG. Now I'm adding a whole cup of extra virgin olive oil. Make sure it's extra virgin. If it's only 1 virgin or unvirgin, throw the whole thing out. You're going to have to try again. Next, I'm adding in our yeast water mixture and stirring to combine using a fork. Once all of the yeast water mixture has been added in, I'm stirring it together till it resembles something of a shaggy dough. Once it's beyond the ability of a fork, go ahead and shove your hands in there. Just give it a really good mix. Once it's combined enough to turn it onto a table, just go ahead and plop it out onto the counter. There we go. Make sure to grab the little dough bits too. Don't want to leave too much dough left behind in the bowl. Now here comes the best part. Hope you haven't been skipping arm day, because you're going to have to knead this for 20 to 30 minutes. Make sure you clean up your work surface too as you go. That way you don't end up with a giant mess of flour everywhere. And then we're going to continue kneading. And kneading. And knead a little bit more. And roll it out a little bit. And then when it just reaches the point where it springs back when you poke it, knead it some more. And when we're finally done kneading, give it some more kneading. Finally, grab a large mixing bowl and oil it up with some extra virgin olive oil. And make sure to spread it around too. We don't want the dough sticking to the sides when it rises. Finally, take your little dough baby, round her out, and plop her down into the mixing bowl. Make sure to cover with some oil. Next, cover with saran wrap or plastic wrap, and really make sure you cover it, right? We don't want any air getting in there. Otherwise, it'll dry out your dough, and all of this hard kneading will be worth nothing. Make sure it seals properly too. I ended up having to use packing tape just because my saran wrap wouldn't stick to the sides of my bowl. And then when you're finally satisfied with your saran wrap job, let it rest for an hour to 24 hours. I really recommend 24 hours, but if you're in a pinch, an hour works just fine. Make sure you struggle with the tape too. This is a really important step. So while we let this rest, let's go ahead and talk sauces. So to a medium stainless steel pot, I'm adding a good glug of olive oil, half a teaspoon of minced garlic, and a good dash of red pepper flakes. Leave it on medium-low and make sure to stir consistently just to blonde the garlic. We don't want to burn it or anything. Next, I'm adding a whole can of San Marzano tomatoes. Make sure they're San Marzano, otherwise the Italians will find you and kill you. And then I'm just stirring it around, making sure to break up the whole tomatoes and placing it on medium to reduce for 4 hours. Make sure to stir it every once in a while just to keep it from burning. After 4 hours, you should be left with a really thick and rich sauce. Make sure to season to taste with salt, pepper, and also, if you want to, add a little bit of sugar. This just helps curb the acidity. So, after 24 hours, our dough should look something like this. Go ahead and flour your work surface and turn it out onto the counter. We're just going to knead it together just to kind of get rid of these air bubbles a little bit. And then cut it into fourths. Each quarter should make about one medium-sized pizza. Now we actually start the process of forming our pizza. So I'm going to start out by kind of stretching it out, then going knuckle over knuckle, and then letting gravity kind of do the work a little bit. If it forms a hole in the middle, it's not the end of the world, just kind of fold it over onto itself to cover it up a little bit. Next, I'm flouring the back of a baking sheet and using it as the platform to cook the pizza. And then from here, we just assemble our pizza. So starting off with the sauce. And then some fresh mozzarella. Followed by pepperonis. And then some more mozzarella. When you're satisfied with your pizza creation, go ahead and place it in the oven as hot as the oven can go. And once the top of the cheese is brown and kind of crusted, go ahead and pull it out. Cut it into fourths or eighths, however you want to eat it, and really give it a minute. It's going to be super hot coming straight out of the oven. And that's it. That's how you make pizza. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Sorry it took so long to get out. And as always, if you liked what you saw, go ahead and leave a like. If you feel so inclined, subscribe. Thanks again for watching.